Now turn up.
Hey YouTube, it's your girl Marvelous One here on Black Scarf Chronicles. So grab your scarf, cause we about to cover some stuff.
Now turn up.
Hey YouTube, it's your girl Marvelous One here with another Black Scarf Chronicle. So people have asked, with so many people starting YouTube channels, what made you want to start a YouTube channel? And the reason I wanted to start a YouTube channel is because I listen to a radio show every day, Monday through Friday, a popular radio show amongst African Americans. And one of their advertisers that they use is Madison Reed, that they promote, I guess I should say. And you know, talk about how good Madison Reed is with covering up gray hair and all that. And I have some gray hair. And if you have grays, you know, grays can be really, really stubborn. So I said, you know what, let me go ahead and check out this Madison Reed, because the person that was promoting it on this radio show is a black woman, an African-American sister. And so I was like, wow, okay, it must be something. But as I do with any products or whatever that I begin to support, I do some research, because as I've said in previous videos, I want to promote Black-owned businesses. And so I went and did my research on Madison Reed. And Madison Reed, while yes, the owner named it after her daughter, it's a white-owned company. And once I found that out, every time I heard this person on this radio show promoting this Madison Reed line, it was just like nails on a chalkboard. And it was just really infuriating, because I'm like, you're a radio show that is supposed to be promoting and uplifting people of color, yet here you are promoting a white-owned business. Not that there's anything against white-owned businesses, because in some areas we have no choice but to patronize white-owned businesses. But when you do have a choice, you should make the choice to support a black-owned business. So I did some research, because I'm like, you know what, I do want to color my hair. I like coloring my hair. The grays are really stubborn. You know, I would use what's it called, hemp, which is a natural hair dye, and it was hit and miss with that. So anyway, so I went and did some research trying to find a black-owned company that does hair coloring. Guess what I found? Not one black-owned hair company promotes hair dye or coloring hair. So hair care is not my area of expertise. But if you're watching this video and you are into creating hair care products, get into hair coloring, get into some hair dye. I don't care if you got to find out what Madison Reed is using to help her product stick to gray hair and cover up gray hairs really well. A black person, African American, if you want to go by that, get into some hair dyeing, get into the hair dyeing business. We have so many black-owned businesses that are into natural hair care, and thumbs up to them. I was surprised by some companies who promote natural hair care products for African Americans, which are not even black-owned businesses. Do your research. It would be really nice if African American person would create hair dye for hard to cover grays. Light bulb, I'm putting that out there for those of you that are in the hair care industry. Black owned, get into some hair dye. So, I mean, if you can come up with a natural way of doing it, that'd be great. But, you know, there are no expectancies of an all natural hair dye that will really do something with some grays. But yeah, so that's why I wanted to start this channel, because I want to promote, I have on this t-shirt about the Black Code. We do not steal from one another. We do not kill one another. We do combine our dollars and buy collectively as a group. We protect our own women and children. We got to do better protecting our women and children, y'all. I know the men have it hard, even harder sometimes than women and children, But that's because what they are attempting to do is to take away our protectors, leaving us vulnerable, putting us in a position to basically have to accept what's given. So Black men, stand up, support our women and our children. Our children are our future. Our women carry our future. So let's support them best we can. The next is educate our own at every chance. Educate our own. I went through the public school system, and they don't tell us a lot about us. Basically, with school, slavery is where we started, and we know that is not where we started. We come from royalty. Remember, we are the original Jews. We are God's people, the people of Ahayah. So the Gentiles came in, rewrote that story so you wouldn't know who you are. Because if you knew who you were, where you came from, they're afraid that things wouldn't have turned out the way they wanted it to turn out. And it turned out the way they wanted it to turn out because they wrote the narrative. They wrote the story. I heard a saying before about a hunter and a lion. So of course, the hunter is the one that's telling the story. So of course he wins all the time. But there are some cases where the lion is the winner. But you'll never hear those stories because the hunter is the one to tell the story. So we educate our own, letting them know where they come from, who they are, who they belong to, that they are not just descendants of slaves and sharecroppers and all that kind of stuff, but descendants of kings and queens, princes and princesses. We are the chosen people. They don't want you to know that. So that's why it's important to pick up a book. Go to Google. There's so many resources. But I would recommend picking up a book, because that's what they're counting on, that you'll be so caught up in checking stuff online. And you notice when you go online and look up stuff, there are always differing opinions. One is say 1 + 1 is 2. Another say 1 + 1 does not equal 2. And you have to determine if you go that route. Even in books, you'll find converse opinions on one subject. So you do the research, decipher, look into it yourself, and then pass that knowledge on. Another reason I wanted to start this platform on YouTube, to pass on the knowledge of who we are. Okay, so what's next? We do not fight one another. I think that speaks for itself. Let's not tear down one another. Fighting is not always physical. It's verbal, emotional, even spiritually. Not one another, not against each other. Our community coming together in unity, right? That's what it's all about. All right. Brothers, protect and build up one another. Brother. There's plenty for everybody. Steve Harvey said, and I don't know if he got this saying from someone else, but tearing me down, and I'm just paraphrasing because this isn't exactly what he said, but basically, tearing me down doesn't build you up, or it shouldn't anyway. You should not elevate yourself by tearing someone else down. Because what's the point? Because there's this thing called karma. And you can get all the way up to the top, and one day it's going to come back around, and you know where you'll be? Right back at the bottom. That's why I said, be careful who you're stepping over, because you may have to see them when you're coming back down. So let's build up one another, encourage one another, be the strength when someone is weak. We all have our weak moments that we go through. So be the strength for somebody else. You see your brother is down. Don't tear him down anymore. Go to your brother. I see you're going through something, brother. What can I do to lift you up? And then we're lifted up together, and we're steady rising together. And someone may have a moment when they come down, and you just come down and you pick them up with you instead of just beating them down. That's going to get you nowhere. In order for us to survive as a people, in order for us to come out victorious, which we're going to be victorious anyway, Ahayah has already purposed that, but let's show him that we're doing what he's called us to do so that we can get back to the place where we're supposed to be. So don't tear each other down, build each other up. Sisters, protect and build one another. So just like it went for the brothers, it also goes for the sisters. I mean, yeah, sisters, we don't have a problem. Oh, girl, you look good. I like that outfit that you have on. Or your hair is looking nice. Or those shoes. Or what? Your makeup is flawless. And that face is beat, if they still say that. You are lit. Okay, yeah, we can say those kinds of things on personal appearance-wise. But what about what that sister may be going through mentally? Yeah, sometimes that is what a person needs, to hear something like that to lift up their spirits. But don't always be so concerned with this. Be concerned with this also. Sister, how you doing mentally today? Sister, how's your heart? Sister, is there anything I can do to uplift your spirit? So just like the brothers have to do that for one another, we sisters also have to do that for one another, because we're also good for tearing each other down. What's that dress she got on? Ooh, didn't she have that on last week? How does that make you feel or look any better? Tearing down someone else. Again, dimming my light does not make your light shine any brighter. Brothers, protect and build up sisters. Already talked about that. Protection, build up. I was in a marriage that was physically, emotionally, and verbally abusive. Thank the Lord for self-esteem. Thank the Lord for bringing me up out of that place, because that really did weigh on my mind. It really did something to me mentally. My husband, the man who I had chose to devote my life to, for better or worse, richer or poor, of course we're divorced now, was my biggest enemy. My husband, the man I had children with, the man who I gave 17 years of my life to, tore me down under the same roof. He would treat people outside of our home better than he treated his own wife. So women need that validation. Your little girls need that validation, so they know what it is they need to look for in a mate. And they want a man, you want them, I'm sure, to have a mate that's going to build them up. You don't want anybody that's going to hurt them physically, emotionally, verbally. So be the example that we women, females, need. Protect us. Lift us up. We look for every opportunity to start our own business serving the need of our people first. That's the Black Code. Every opportunity to start our own business serving the needs of our people first. Madison Reed, she's taking care of her people. She's taking care of that line, because the owner is not Madison Reed. She named it after her daughter, like I said. But she has that legacy set up for her and her family. And these are the kinds of things we need to do for our people. So instead of giving to businesses that are establishing their legacy for their own, because they're not establishing a legacy for you, you're not going to see any of that Madison Reed money. Well, take that back. The people promoting them on their radio stations, they are getting paid to do that. Which makes me think of another thing. Is the bag really worth it sometimes to sell out yourself morally and ethically? Is it really worth a penny to sell out your own people? To not try to lift up and uphold your own people? Is it worth it? It may be worth it to some people. It's not worth it to me. That's why I started this YouTube channel, for my people. Because I'm trying to help set up and establish and get you thinking about you first before you think about others. Think about what you want to leave behind for your family. What you want to leave behind as a legacy. So years down the line, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren are doing well because of you. You started it. And even if your family has a business already, run it. Don't sell out. Yeah, you start a beauty care, beauty line, hairline, and then Revlon or L'Oreal or somebody comes at you with a big old paycheck to buy it out, still using your name. But you're not leaving, you no longer have a legacy to leave behind for your family. That's what it's all about, legacy building. Leaving something for our future. So let's help build up and leave things for our future and stop helping build up legacies for others. Unity in the community. Thank you so much for checking out this video and listening to me as I go on and ramble. But I just want you to know who you are and whose you are. I love my people, and I want everybody to come into this knowledge, to do the research, to find out who you are. I guarantee it'll keep a smile on your face no matter what's going on around you, because you know in the end we have the victory no matter what it looks like. So click subscribe, like, share. Thank you so much. I pray for you all. Pray that you get to know him. Come to get to know Ahayah and his son, Yeshua. God bless you all. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Black Table Talk. That's Black_Table_Talk. God bless you all. Black Scarf Chronicles. I'm Marvelous One. Out. Love you.